Mars is in Virgo from July 10th to August 27th, 2023. So what does this mean? In Virgo, Mars is a workhorse. It's a powerhouse. It's wanting to get things done. We have this passion for details as well as a need to do the right thing. It's about a satisfaction of getting the job done and getting it done right. You're going to be more precise and you're going to be very concerned about your performance. Now, this transit can bring this huge surge of motivation and this energy and this assertiveness of you wanting to go after and completing things, starting things, particularly in the fields of your work, your health, and attention to details. Now, there can be some challenges that are related to being overly critical, not only of yourself, but of others, maybe being too impulsive, or other people being impulsive around you, and you might be conflict prone. So I'm encouraging you to use caution and be mindful of these influences and practice some self-awareness, some self-care, and some healthy communication during this transit. So let's talk about the positive and the negative. So because we have two things going on. We're going to have an opposition to Saturn, and we're going to have a trine to Pluto. So some of the positive things that can come from Mars, you can have this increased energy and increased motivation because during a Mars transit, you might experience a boost in your physical or your mental energy levels. This can lead to definitely more motivation and better productivity on your part and on the part of others. And it's definitely beneficial for anybody who has been feeling down or unmotivated. A Mars transit can provide that extra needed push or oomph in order for you to pursue these goals or to get these tasks done or to renew that vigor in order to be more productive. This can also improve your physical health and fitness because Mars is associated with your physical vitality. It's basically your strength. You can experience improved physical health and fitness levels because it wants to invigorate your body and it wants to promote physical well-being. It can benefit you if you're looking to improve your health and maybe include a fitness routine or go back to a fitness routine, or you're recovering from an illness or an injury. The Mars transit wants to enhance your overall health and vitality in the sign of Virgo. Mars is considered the planet of passion and romance. During a Mars transit, people often experience an increased desire for intimacy or passion and wanting these emotional connections to have with others. There's this heightened passion in the relationships. It's about having more fulfilling and satisfying romantic experiences and reigniting the spark that you had in your existing relationships. You can also experience positive leadership or problem-solving skills because Mars is associated with being assertive or problem-solving and going after what you want and what you desire. It can enhance your leadership skills and problem-solving abilities because it's about going after your goals. It's about professional goal setting and then effective leadership and problem-solving skills that can later on be highly valued and then turn into more of a career enhancement. Now, there are some difficulties that can come along with a Mars transit. So Mars, it's also associated with aggression, impulsiveness, being impatient. And so during this transit, you can experience an upsurge of these qualities leading to maybe some conflicts or arguments or impulsive actions, either on your part or on the parts of others that pull you into the disagreement. It can result in strained relationships or hasty decision making on your part or impulsive behaviors on your part. So just be careful not to be caught off guard and be pulled into that energy. You can also expect heightened stress and tension because Mars is known as the planet of action and intensity and desire. You might feel restless or frustrated or irritable, and this leads to increased stress and tension in your life. And it could also be making you feel irritable, leading to increased stress and tension and manifest in other areas of your life, for example, your personal relationships or your work environment. This is where it will spill over into. Now, this could be also your daily routine, and it can negatively impact your mental, physical, and emotional, spiritual well-being. Now, there can be an increased risk of accidents or injuries at this time because Mars rules the head, and it's about physical energy and assertiveness. And during this transit, these can sometimes result in being extremely impulsive and being reckless. And it's an increase in accidents and injuries due to these hasty actions, not thinking, being impulsive and jumping first, then thinking later. So I'm encouraging you to exercise some caution and be mindful of this transit to avoid any potential accidents or injuries that may come your way. Also, burnout and exhaustion. Because Mars, during this Mars transit, it's about pushing forward and taking action and having this fiery passion to drive and go after what you want. Sometimes this can result in a burnout or exhaustion if it's not managed correctly. Mars transit can increase this overexertion or the stress and this fatigue that you may feel, and this will impact your physical and mental health and well-being. So we remember that we have this opposition to Saturn. So all of this energy is going to be opposite of the planet of wanting boundaries and wanting you to work and do quality work and do work over time. And it's in the sign of Pisces. And so it's about finding boundaries. And an opposition is where there's going to be difficulty. And then we also have this trine to Pluto. So a trine is where you're going to have ease and grace, or things will be, this is the reason why you want to do this, because this is going to be the result of a turnover in this area, a transformation in this area. So welcome, I'm your astrologer, Patricia Tate with Willow Grace Astrology, and this is your Mars and Virgo forecast. So for Aries Sun and Aries Rising, we have Mars in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house for you is about your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. Now, this is important because this is your ruling planet. Aries is who rules over you. So you're definitely feeling this with who am I? How am I presented to the world? This is my drive, my passion, what I want to go after. This is you and how you present yourself. Now, during this transit, this is about an increased focus on how do you balance your work, what you donate, the time that you donate, where do I give of myself for taking time out for my mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, because it's an increased focus on your work or on your health and on your daily routine. Now we have this opposition of Saturn. Remember that Saturn is in your 12th house, and this is definitely taking time out to stop and pause and recharge yourself. And Mars does not want to do that. Mars is in your house of let's get it done, let's get organized, let's be passionate, and let's dive after it and make sure that this happens now. Let's be productive. I can do this. And your 12th house is saying you can do it, but we have to set aside time. We have to have some boundaries. We have to have some alone time or some time to decompress. If not, your health will be at odds, and your 12th house will let you know that. Now there is a trine with Pluto. Now this is where your career comes in. So we have Pluto transforming your 10th house of career, your work, how people see you, and the legacy that you're going to be leaving behind. This is your career. This is your life path. So you of your first house are totally driven by the things that are going on in your 6th house of I have the motivation, I can make this happen, I can transform, I can get these things done. And remember to set aside time for your health, set aside time to rest and recover, otherwise you will be the one suffering because of it. This is about needing a balance between productivity and self-care during this transit. Don't be overly critical of yourself or of others. That means the people that you work with, and of self. So making sure that you have a tendency to not be a perfectionist with everything that you get done. To do the job, make sure it's of quality, paying attention to the detail, but not working yourself until you get so sick that you need to take the time off, because that's what Saturn will encourage you to do. And Pluto says, look, whatever you're doing, make sure that it lasts. Take the time to make it quality and make it last. So for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, this transit is occurring in your 5th house. So the 5th house for you is fun and joy, creativity and children and things that you do, but they are about creating these things. And so this is going to affect your creativity, your romance, your self-expression. It's about you feeling this surge to be creative and have these passionate artistic pursuits, going after people that you want to partner up with. This is you actually having the passion, the drive, and saying, I want to go after this hobby. I want to be involved in this romantic relationship. Now, there can be a concern at this time to be a little critical, either of yourself or of others during this transit, knowing that this project, whatever you're putting out there, the project maybe, good is enough, but you might not feel that way. Now, there's going to be this opposition of Saturn in your 11th house. And so Saturn in your 11th house is your friends, your social circles, your network, people that you join with in order to accomplish your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals. And so this will be an opposition of, what am I working on? Am I holding other people to the same standard? Should I be a little bit more lenient on them? Do I need to switch these groups around of who I'm hanging around with in order to accomplish these goals in which I want to do for my career? These are these artistic pursuits. These are people that you're hanging around with, or a tendency to have these energies might hinder your self-expression. So make sure that everything that you do it from within, this passion, this desire, this drive, because you have these creative instincts. It is about you and wanting to avoid these self-critical thoughts and ideas of who you are and the work that you're putting out. Now remember, we also are having this trine to Pluto. These are about the people, places, and things that are far away, that are foreign to you. This could be about, how do you connect? Maybe you want to sell these projects that you're working on, or maybe this is an artistic endeavor that you want to share with others on a larger platform, because the 9th house is it's the foreign travel, it's higher education. And so maybe you want to teach this, maybe you're taking a class here, maybe it's about sharing things, maybe it's about your beliefs. But remember to not be so perfectionist in this, and that expect these things to enjoy this cross-cultural experience between what you're doing and what you want to share with the world. And having this 5th house drive and this passion about things that you want to go after and the people that you want to participate with, you're going to have this push-pull between, where do I want to do this, who do I want to do this with, and what circles do I maybe need to change in order to make some of my hopes, my wishes, my dreams happen, because I want to share it on a bigger platform. I want to share it with people, places, and things that I have not connected with. And so that might be through the internet. Remember that the 9th house is also publishing or editing and sharing things on a wider scale. It's connecting what you have to share, that your passion, your desire, and it could also mean you're meeting somebody that could be foreign, or meeting them on vacation or further away during this transit. So for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, this is occurring in your 4th house. of home and family and roots and foundation and real estate. And this is about feeling this surge of energy and this motivation to take action with things that have to do with home-related projects or nurturing these relationships that you're in with other people. There could be a tendency towards impatience or a conflict that you might have within the home environment with others. This might create some stress. I see this because we have Saturn at the top of your chart, and this is going to be the opposition that we talked about of things that you're wanting to do, things that you're going passionate about, and this desire. And Saturn is at the top and saying, in order to do this, it has to be something lasting for your career. How do you find this balance between these two houses? I'm going after it. I'm taking the time. I'm doing it right. And Saturn in Pisces is watery and intuitive, and it can create some stress about the way that you communicate with others, making sure that everything that you do, that you are not being too hard on yourself, that the work and the energy that you're putting in, that it meets the skills of the boss or the job or the projects that you are doing for your work. Now, there is also a trine, and the trine is to Pluto. So with that, we have your 8th house of shared resources. This is an opportunity for you to say, everything that I'm doing at home, everything that I'm doing at work, I'm going to combine all these, and I'm going to have this gift, this opportunity to collaborate with others. This could be through shared contracts. This could be with a marital partner, a work partner. It will have something that will definitely benefit or be activated by your home, because it's a transformation of this area of your life, transforming your income or your shared resources that you have with others. And so use caution with conflict, use caution with your words, and know that all the hard work that you're going to be putting in is definitely going to be paying off. Remember that sometimes Gemini individuals, you need to practice this patience with your communication skills to avoid any potential conflicts that have to do with your words and your actions. Because during this transit, it's about being impulsive, thinking first, and acting first and thinking later. And so take your time, share your thoughts, your ideas with the people that you work with, and try not to be impulsive or asking other people to rise up to your standards. Let them work at their pace and you work at your pace. So for Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising, this transit is occurring in your 3rd house. The 3rd house for you is the way that you communicate. It's about learning and your social interactions. And for you, this is about going after things, being hard, like, I'm going to study this, I'm going to learn this, I feel motivated, I want to express myself. There's going to be a tendency towards very impulsive speech, or tendency towards possibly some communication where misunderstanding other people or misrepresenting, because Cancer individuals, remember that your focus is always on home and family and needing to feel safe and secure and comfortable. And with Mars here, Mars is about ideas and engaging in these ideas and sharing these ideas and having these social interactions and these activities that you want to have with others. Now, there's this opposition in your 9th house. The 9th house for you is your wanting to travel. It's your connection with others, with foreign people, places, and things. And it's about having the need to have boundaries and the things that you share with others. How much do you share with others? And you having this strong work ethic, expecting other people to also have this, and kind of maybe being critical of them when they're not meeting your standards, or you're taking a class or a workshop and it's not exactly everything that you wanted or everything that you desired it to be. And maybe having a biting tongue or sharp tongue with the things that you say. This could include maybe traveling, and as you're traveling, not liking everything that's there and having these high expectations. Now, I'm not saying lower your expectations. I'm just saying use caution with your words, because this is an opposition. It is a place where we need to have some boundaries, but at what cost? And you being precise, your communication is going to be spot on, your speech is going to be spot on, and it's you sharing your thoughts and your ideas and being quick-witted. Now, there is a trine with your 7th house Pluto. Pluto is here saying, if you do this work well, the partners that you can work with, now, not only partners, but remember that the 7th house is your +1 house. This is your one-on-one relationships, your friends, your significant other, your best friends, your clients. This is the house where we get together with others and we could possibly sign contracts. So during this transit, you're going to have these huge opportunities, these gifts of connecting with these people who are of like mind, and you're going to have to make sure that the communication that you have, that you are avoiding any impulsive decisions, and maybe these reactions that you might have, because it's you taking your thoughts, your ideas, and communicating them with partners. And partners are going to get you. They're going to understand you. The things that you're saying and that you're doing are going to be more thought out with clients, or your significant other, or your best friend, or your partner. And this could be a business partner also. So for Leo Sun and Leo Rising, this transit is occurring in your 2nd house. So Mars is there. This has to do with your personal finances, your resources, your cash, your property, your self-worth. This is anything that personally belongs to you. And Mars there is having you want to take action with your own, what happens to all of your financial matters. Now, the problem is we have this opposition with Saturn in your 8th house of shared resources. So the 8th house is anything that you share with other people. It is taxes, it is debt, it is alimony, child support, any contracts that you have with others. It has to do with what you do with your money and your say-so in that contract that you have with other people. That's where the opposition or the difficulty may occur, because you're going to want to have a say-so about what happens with it, and there could be difficulty with some words, comments, and about where is the money being spent, or conflicts related to these shared possessions. Now, the positive that's going to come from this is the trine that's going to go to Pluto. Remember that the 2nd house refers to everything with your personal belongings, your cash, your property. And so after you find this balance between you and these shared resources, the gift comes from, how do I find this balance? Maybe I look for a mentor. Maybe I look for somebody who can give me some financial advice. Pluto is the planet of transformation, and Pluto is encouraging you to transform the way that you deal with your cash, your property, and how does that make you feel? And you might feel this motivation that you're going to want to take action. You're going to want to have complete control over your financial matters, and you're going to want to manage your possessions. You're going to want to assert your self-worth, and there could be a tendency towards impulsive spending or conflicts that could be related to money or your possessions. Now, this can create stress. Remember that the 6th house is the house of physical, mental, spiritual health and well-being. And if you're not taking care of your things, that can cause undue stress. So I'm encouraging you to practice this mindful spending and avoid any impulsive financial decisions during this transit. And if you can, seek out the guidance of others who know more than you about possibly where do you invest your money, what do you do, what is of value to you, and how much is it worth. And moving forward, you'll have more of a balance of, for my career, for my home, what do I do with this cash, this influx of. And this could also be asking for and asserting your self-worth of, this is what I feel that my self-worth is, asking for that raise, asking for what is due to you. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, this is occurring in your first house of self. This Mars transit is all about you and asserting this extra energy, assertiveness, a motivation. This is you going after your own personal goals. What do you want? What do you expect? Your self-improvement, or this is your individuality of how you assert yourself as different from others. Now, the opposition is going to come in with Saturn in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, your one-on-ones. It's with clients, it's with business partners, and your significant others. So how do you assert yourself, all about you, with those of clients or those of a partner or somebody that you're in a relationship with? And how do you take action on your personal goals, your self-improvement? How do you push forward for what you want in life without being overcritical of others that you are in contract with or in a relationship with, whether it be business or personal? Remember that the 7th house it's your +1 house, and this conflict between you and others, this can be kind of critical. This is about you being a perfectionist and wanting things done a certain way, and other people might not be on the same page as you, and so this will be creating some stress, and this can create some conflicts in your relationships. Remember that you are going to have to manage yourself and not to micromanage other people, whether they're clients or friends, and practice some self-awareness during this time. Now, the positive that's going to come from it is, remember, we're talking about you. This is going to be in a trine with Pluto. Pluto is in your 5th house of fun and joy, children, being childlike, and Capricorn is about building something that's steady over the long haul, something that's built to last. It's the house of creativity, art, and music. And this could be a time where you might be a little too critical of children or about creative projects that you're working on. Remember that as a Virgo rising, that you're already hard enough on yourself. So to expect perfectionism in all areas of your life, sometimes you're just going to have to do it just to enjoy it, just to participate in it, and have some self-compassion for yourself at this time. So moving forward, remember that in your first house, this is asserting your free will, things that you want to manifest, your personal goals, your self-improvement, and then the end result is use caution when speaking with others and sharing with others, and then practicing self-awareness and compassion with things that bring you joy, children, or these childlike activities, the art, the music, the creativity, and not be perfectionistic about it, but to enjoy it for creation's sake. It's just about being motivated to create some things in your life and just enjoy it for what it is. Work to not be too hard on yourself and difficult or have conflict with others, because this is going to be a hard time for you, that you are going to expect nothing but the best from yourself and from others. And remember, those are your expectations, not the expectations of others. So for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, this is occurring in your 12th house. Now, the 12th house for you, it's about spiritual practices, and it's about solitude and taking time out for you. Now, Mars is the planet of I need to go after. So you're going to be the one that has to set aside the time for the solitude and for the inner reflection. This is you taking time out for you. Libra, this is a time where you're going to feel this tug and this pull between how do I have a balance between what I give to others, this is the Saturn that's in your 6th house, and for you, taking time out for you. Remember that Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. It's about there's water there, and it's about building barriers or a dam around this area of your life, and not be so free flowing and giving all the time to others. Pisces is the sign that everything merges into. It just all blends in together. And Saturn is here saying you have to have some kind of boundaries. You have to set the boundaries that I can only give so much of myself. This is for your home, your work. And the Mars here is saying you have to set the time. And that means if you have to schedule it, then you schedule the time out. If you have to schedule the boundaries, then you schedule the boundaries. If you need a mentor, then you need a mentor. Because the 6th house is your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. And there's going to be this push-pull, this opposition of how do I find enough time to do the things that I want. And so you're going to have this a surge of energy to dive into some spiritual practices, your 12th house things. It's about solitude and engaging in this inner reflection. It's about this heightened sense of self-awareness and a deeper introspection. Now, there's going to be this tendency towards feeling restless and isolated. It's okay to take time out for yourself. Now, the positive that's going to come from this is the Pluto. So there's a trine from you taking time out for yourself. Now, that'll either be at home or a place that will be Zen-like for you. So at this time, all of these practices are going to help you be a better person for who you are at home. Mars is going to bring this sense of urgency about, because you have a tendency as a Libra rising to want balance and want harmony. And it's hard for you to find this alone time because there's all these social interactions that are going to be going on during this transit. But know that if you take the time out for yourself, you will be better for it. I'm encouraging you to practice self-care, self-compassion, and look towards your spiritual and reflective endeavors during this time. Go easy on yourself because Mars has harsh words, and not always the harsh words that we say out loud, but sometimes the harsh words that repeat in our head. And use caution with that because you think it, you believe it, and those words, you don't want them to be a broken record for who you are on the inside. So practice your self-care and take time out for you. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, this is occurring in your 11th house. This is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. This is the house of who you network with in order to manifest what you want to happen. This could either be through pleasure, friends and social circles, or this could also be networking through groups that you work with. And so the area of friendships and your social connections and your future goals, you're now going to have this surge, this energy, this push, this motivation for you to totally engage in these group activities, to definitely network, to pursue your long-term goals. This is you going after what you want. Now, there could be a tendency towards conflict because Mars is and can be kind of aggressive. It can bring intensity. It can bring assertiveness. Mars here can have you having a power struggle with some of your friendships or your social circles. It can bring intensity and assertiveness that not all other people can handle. As a Scorpio Sun or Rising, you are well equipped for it. Others are not always ready for your intensity. Now, Saturn is in your 5th house of fun, joy, children. This is in an opposition of what do I want, and how do I manifest this? How do I find a balance between what brings me personal joy and the joy and the groups that I want to be part of? Maybe at this time you're going to have to practice some diplomacy, avoid power struggles, and focus on these constructive social interactions. Make sure that you align with people with your long-term goals. Remember that we have Pluto in a trine with your Mars at this time. So we know that any oppositions that you have early on with either children or the art, the music, the whatever is bringing you joy, these activities that you participate in, that it will benefit you in the long run if you use the appropriate communication. Pluto in your third house is, I want to get to here. How do I explain to others that I want to be here? How do I insert myself, be assertive without overtaking or overpowering the friends or the social circles or the people that I'm with? How do I not take over everything? And again, that's going to be on constructive social interactions, anything that aligns with your long-term goals. Try not to be too intense and make sure you practice some diplomacy. Look to avoid the power struggles. Think of it as going the long haul and wanting this to last over a longer period of time. And how do you manage that with the people that you surround yourself with? Because it's you being part of groups. Remember that this is either at home or at work. The groups that you are part of, the social circles that you are part of, they can take you places. You just don't want to be in charge of all of them, and you don't want them to think that it has to be all about you, because you know it's not. You know that you can all go there together. It's your intensity that you're going to have to tamper down just a little bit. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, this is occurring in your 10th house. This is amazing energy for you in that this is your career, your reputation, your public image. You are literally going after everything that you want. It is your time. It's the energy that you're going to spend saying, I'm going to be methodical. I know what I have to do and how it has to happen. There's going to be this motivation to take action towards your career, towards goals that you have, something that has to do with your professional endeavors. Now, this is also going to be you asserting some authority. Use caution that you don't be too critical of others. This energy is about you being a perfectionist and dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and making sure that everything that you do, everything that you complete, you're turning it in and it's perfect. Know that not everybody is going to be able to do that, and you might be a little overly critical of other people, or you might be impatient at the pace in which things are moving. Because as a Sag rising, you see the bigger picture. You know what can happen if you can just push through and get these things done. So we have this opposition with Saturn at home. Saturn is the boundaries of needing to have boundaries around the water, this Piscean energy. And how do you devote this time at work and find this balance with home and family and the foundation? This is also real estate. And so you are wanting to go after these things so it will better your home. And the positive that's going to come from this is the trine that's going to be Pluto. Pluto is in your second house. So you know that the hard work that you're putting in right now is going to pay off for your cash, your property, your self-worth for later. This is literally you going after things for you for later, but knowing that if you put in the work now, it will happen. This is about progress in your professional endeavors. This is your career, and so use patience to not create any conflicts either at home or at work. Because Sagittarius individuals, you can sometimes, you need to practice this patience, this diplomacy, this professionalism during this transit, because you might be a little impulsive. Try not to make any impulsive career shifts or changes. I know that you see the bigger picture. I know that you know what you want to do, but during this time, it's about finishing things, starting these projects, finishing them, and going after the bigger picture in the end. So use cautious with no impulsive decisions to move forward with. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, this is occurring in your 9th house. And so Mars here is about pushing forth with, I want to travel here. I want to be educated here. I want to take this class. I want to take this workshop. I want to teach this. This transit is really highlighting higher education, travel, philosophy. You're going to feel this surge of energy and this motivation to just totally expand your horizon, to engage in learning and teaching and explore these new perspectives. Now, what comes from it is wisdom and higher knowledge. Now, there could be a tendency, because Mars is quick, fast, impulsive, to be overly critical or dogmatic in your beliefs, and this could create conflicts. So I'm encouraging you to have an open mind. I know that you're going to want to dive into it and study it all, or to go there and understand it all, because that's what Mars there is. Now, Saturn, your opposition of Saturn in your third house is your communication. Now, in the sign of Pisces, it's watery. It's about needing some kind of boundaries with what you say and how you communicate that, and being open-minded and not accepting other people's viewpoints, and using caution with your words, because Mars can be kind of bitey during this time, and you don't want to create any conflicts. You know what you know, it's just that there's a diplomatic way to say it. Now, Pluto is going to be in your first house. Everything that's going on with this education, this learning, this teaching, this broader perspective that you're gaining from this ninth house transit is about, it will change your beliefs. This will change your personal journey. It will change you. Remember that practice with open-mindedness. Try not to be overly critical. Accept these different viewpoints, because at the end, everything that you learn from your ninth house is going to change who you are at the core and who people see you on your life's journey as. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, this is occurring in your 8th house of shared resources. This is the house of intimacy. It is transformation. It is alimony, child support, taxes, debt. It's the house that you share with others, and it's a very intimate house. So at this time, you could definitely be wanting to take serious action about your financial matters, or to deepen your intimate connections, and maybe let's dive into some counseling together, or let's just spend quality time together and get to know each other on a deeper, more intimate, personal way, because it's about wanting a transformation of. Now, because we have this here, the opposition with Saturn is in your 2nd house of your personal self-worth, cash, and property. And so you are going to want to engage in personal transformation, and you are expecting others to follow you on this path. Now, the things that you learn and that you gain through this, it will offer some struggles, because there could be struggles that are related to these shared resources, or the struggles that are how intimate, or what do I share, how much do I share. This is you sharing with others, or people sharing with you. Now, the positive that's going to come out of all of this deepening in this area of your life is Pluto. Pluto is in your 12th house. This is the house of secrets. It's the house of solitude. This is you saying, I need to learn this about me, and I want to know this about you, and I'm willing to take this inside and work on myself and transform myself through this. The 12th house is your hidden support, but it's also your worst fears. And so some of your worst fears you can conquer at this time. There may be power struggles with intimacy, and this can create some emotional stress, and you're going to want to save some time and put aside a time that you can have healthy communication with others, that there's a no stress environment, and you want to have cooperation and these shared endeavors that you share with others. And I'm encouraging you to avoid any impulsive or reactive behaviors at this time. Easier said than done, I know, but this time is really about you not being afraid to go deep, going within and saying, I'm going to tackle some of these fears that I have. I want to be a partner with you. I want to communicate better with you. I want to be with you on a deep level, and I don't want to have these power struggles. I want to be an equal with you. And how does that make me feel? And how do I work through those feelings and those emotions? Because Pluto is saying, dig deep, time to transform, you've got this. Try not to be impulsive. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, this transit of Mars is occurring in your 7th house. And so the 7th house for you is your +1 house. It's you and your significant other, it's your business partner, it's your life partner, it's your best friends, it's also your clients. And so you're going to have to be really cautious because you're going to have this surge of energy to take action, whether it's romantic or professional, and you're going to be wanting to assert your needs. We have Saturn over here in your 1st house saying, I have to have some boundaries here. I have to be the one to bring this about because I feel like I might be taken advantage of, or I don't feel like I'm an equal. Now, I agree that you need to do that and assert those things, but it's about the way that you come about doing that. You're going to want to avoid conflicts or disagreements in the relationship and bring about your assertiveness with positive intensity. Practice this healthy communication. Practice compromise, diplomacy, especially during this time with partners or with clients. You are going to know what you want, and you're going to say it before thinking. So during this time, use caution and have an open dialogue or open communication so you're not hurting other people's feelings, because it is about finding a boundary. It is about your self-worth. Saturn in the 1st house, this transit is saying, I need to take care of me. I feel like I've been a doormat. I feel like I've been walked all over, and I cannot allow this, whether it be a client or whether it be a significant other or a partner. I cannot allow it anymore. So you're going to have these challenges. Now, the positive that's going to come from it is this trine to Pluto. Pluto is in your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, and it's the social circles. It's the groups that you participate in order to make this happen. And so it's going to bring about this opportunity for you to be assertive and to have this intensity, but practicing this healthy communication, diplomacy, and avoiding any impulsive behaviors because you want to participate. You want to This will be transforming these groups, these social circles that you're in, because they're going to see a different side of you. You might be changing some of your hopes, wishes, and dreams and saying that, you know what, this just doesn't align with me anymore. I don't feel like I belong in this group anymore or part of, and you're either going to have to reestablish the boundaries or you will look elsewhere for healthy relationships. So as always, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. And for updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.